Hello students, today we are going to read and learn a story, a very funny story from your Moments book, class 9. Have you ever had a baby monkey as a pet? Toto is a baby monkey. Let's find out whether he is mischievous or docile. Here the word mischievous means, what do you mean by the word mischievous? Do you have any idea? The word mischievous means one who does some things that are completely stupid or humorous, isn't it? Or docile, or a very good monkey. Okay. So this is all about adventurous story as well as a humorous story of a naughty monkey named Toto. T-O-T-O. The grandfather of the narrator of this story bought the monkey from a Tonga driver. The mischievous things, the stupidity, the naughty things which have been played by the monkey Toto are being narrated in an interesting way and make the story a must read for us. Okay. So let us read and let me explain the story paragraph wise. Grandfather bought Toto from a Tonga driver for the sum of 5 rupees. The Tonga driver used to keep the little red monkey tied to a feeding trough, and the monkey looked so out of place there that grandfather decided he would add the little fellow to his private zoo. So here the grandfather of the author bought Toto, that means the monkey Toto, from a Tonga driver for the sum of 5 rupees. The Tonga driver had tied the little red colored monkey to a feeding trough so that he could not run here and there, he could not run away. When the writer's grandfather first time saw the monkey, he had a desire to add him to the collection of animals which he had in his zoo at home. So from the first paragraph we came to know that the grandfather had a private zoo at his home and he kept the newly bought Toto, the monkey, in his zoo. Toto was a pretty monkey. His bright eyes sparkled with mischief beneath deep set eyebrows, and his teeth, which were a pearly white, were very often displayed in a smile that frightened the life out of elderly Anglo-Indian ladies. But his hands looked dried up as though they had been pickled in the sun for many years. Yet his fingers were quick and wicked, and his tail, while adding to his good looks, grandfather believed a tail would add to anyone's good looks, also served as a third hand. He could use it to hang from a branch. It was capable of scooping up any delicacy that might be out of reach of his hands. So here the word Anglo-Indian, do you know the meaning of the word Anglo-Indian? Anglo-Indian means a person related to both England and India. Anglo-Indian means a person related to both England and India. Okay. So the writer here gives a vivid description of Toto. He is now going to describe how Toto looked like. Toto had bright, shiny eyes which were full of mischief, which were full of naughtiness. The eyebrows were deeply set on his face. His teeth were like pearls. Many ladies who belonged to Anglo-Indian community got scared when they saw his teeth, which were displayed when he smiled. When Toto smiled, many Anglo-Indian community ladies got scared. Toto's hands were like dry and wrinkled, and as if they had been dried in the sun like pickled vegetables. Toto had a long tail the grandfather of the writers, it was the thought of the grandfather of the writer that the tail added to the good looks of an animal. So Toto's tail was like a third hand for him. How? It helped. The tail of the monkey Toto helped him hang from the branch of a tree. He also used it to lift objects which were beyond his hand's reach. Okay. Grandmother always fussed when grandfather brought home some new bird or animal. So it was decided that Toto's presence should be kept a secret from her until she was in a particularly good mood. Grandfather and I put him away in a little closet opening into my bedroom wall, where he was tied securely. Or so we thought, to a peg fastened into the wall. So here a peg means, P-E-G, peg means, the word here peg means a hook. Okay, here the word peg means a hook. So the writer's grandmother was against the grandfather's attitude of bringing new pets like birds and animals. The grandmother of the writer didn't like at all. His grandfather used to bring some birds or animals at his house, at his private zoo. Grandfather kept the animals or birds at his private zoo. The grandmother didn't like that. And so the grandfather thought that they would conceal this fact, they would keep this fact from her grandmother, from the grandmother of the writer, until she was in a good mood. At that time, they would disclose this to her. They will reveal the matter in front of the grandmother. The writer and his grandfather secured Toto in a little cupboard in the writer's room. In order to be sure that Toto did not escape, they tied him to a hook. Here the word peg means hook in the wall. A few hours later, when grandfather and I came back to release Toto, we found that the walls, which had been covered with some ornamental paper chosen by grandfather, now stood out as naked brick and plaster. The peg in the wall had been wrenched from its socket, and my school blazer, which had been hanging there, was in shreds. I wondered what grandmother would say, but grandfather didn't worry. He seemed pleased with Toto's performance. So the writer and his grandfather went to Toto after a few hours. The sight was shocking. They became so shocked. What did they see that time? Toto had torn the decorative wallpaper. Here the word ornamental paper means decorative wallpaper. He had broken the hook, he had broken the peg, and had escaped from his binding. Also, the monkey Toto tore the writer's blazer into thin pieces. Here the sentence is saying that I wondered what grandfather would say, but grandfather didn't worry. He seemed pleased with Toto's performance. And by seeing this, though the grandchild, that means the author, was so shocked by seeing this kind of activity, but the grandfather was very pleased to see Toto's performance. He is clever, said grandfather. Give time. I'm sure he could have tied the torn pieces of your blazer into a rope, and he made his escape from the window. So according to the grandfather, he was quite delighted to see Toto's adventure, Toto's activities. He felt that Toto was very clever. He also said that if they would have given him more time, that monkey might have tied the thin pieces of the writer's torn blazer into a long rope and would have escaped out of the window. So this is all about a funny statement from the side of the grandfather, and grandfather is telling to whom? Grandfather is telling to his grandchild, that is the author. His presence in the house still a secret. Toto was now transferred to a big cage in the servants' quarters, where a number of grandfather's pets lived very sociably together. A tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a tame squirrel, and for a while my pet goat. But the monkey wouldn't allow any of his companions to sleep at night. So grandfather, who had to leave Dehradun next day to collect his pension in Saharanpur, decided to take him along. So Toto was shifted to the servant quarter. Here it is written that big cage in the servants quarter. Okay, quarter means small house. He was put in a cage. He would live with the other pets in grandfather's personal zoo, private zoo. The zoo compiled of a tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a squirrel, and the writer's pet goat. So how many animals, what kind of animals are there in the private zoo of the grandfather? Tortoise, a pair of rabbits, a squirrel, and the writer's pet goat. Toto was very naughty. Toto was very mischievous at that time. He did not allow the other animals sleep at night inside the private zoo of the grandfather. The writer's grandfather had to leave for Saharanpur the next day to withdraw his pension, and finally he decided to take Toto along with him as he was unmanageable. Okay. Unfortunately, I could not accompany grandfather on that trip, but he told me about it afterwards. A big black canvas kit bag was provided for Toto. This, with some straw at the bottom, became his new abode. When the bag was closed, there was no escape. Toto could not get his hands through the opening, and the canvas was too strong for him to bite his way through. His efforts to get out only had the effect of making the bag roll about on the floor or occasionally jump into the air, an exhibition that attracted a curious crowd of onlookers on the Dehradun railway platform. So here the word abode, A-B-O-D, abode means home. Okay. So here the writer is saying that he was disappointed as he was unable to accompany his grandfather to reach to Dehradun and Toto on the trip as well. After that, his grandfather narrated the happenings of the trip to him later. He had got a special bag for Toto. Who had got a special bag for Toto? The grandfather was carrying a special bag for Toto. What was the speciality of this bag? It was made of strong material, canvas. He placed some dry grass at the bottom of the bag. Grandfather placed some dry grass at the bottom of the bag. On that trip, that means while the grandfather was on his way to Dehradun, the bag would be Toto's home as he would live in it, isn't it? The bag was carrying a zipper on top of it. The grandfather ensured that when the bag was closed, Toto would not be able to escape out of it as the bag was completely zipped up. Neither he could come out of the opening as it was closed with a zipper, nor could it bite the strong canvas material in order to run away. Still, Toto made unsuccessful attempts to come out of the bag. For this, many times the bag would roll on the floor, or it would certainly jump in the air, because inside the bag Toto was doing a kind of mischievous things. These movements were noticed by the people on the railway platform. So there were lot of passengers awaiting for train. They have suddenly noticed that that bag of the grandfather was doing something wrong. So these moments were noticed by the people on the railway platform and made them curious. The passengers became so curious to know what was inside the bag. Toto remained in the bag as far as Saharanpur, but while grandfather was producing his ticket at the railway turnstile, Toto suddenly poked his head out of the bag and gave the ticket collector a wide grin. So here the word turnstile means a mechanical gate consisting of revolving arms fixed to a vertical post, allowing only one person at a time to pass through. You may have seen that kind of doors, that kind of entry or exit point around the station areas. Okay, so Toto remained secured in grandfather's bag till Saharanpur, but after that the table has turned. What was happened that time? At that Saharanpur railway station, the writer's grandfather was taking out his ticket to cross the turnstile. The ticket collector asked the grandfather to show the ticket, and also the grandfather had to pass through the turnstile. At that time, Toto poked out of the bag. Toto picked out of the bag. Toto suddenly came out of the bag and smiled at the ticket collector. Here the word wide grin means Toto started smiling at the ticket collector. The poor man was taken aback, but with great presence of mind and much to grandfather's annoyance, he said, "Sir, you have a dog with you? You will have to pay for it accordingly." The ticket collector here became so astonished to see a monkey in grandfather's bag, isn't it? He recovered quickly. And very cunningly, very interestingly, the ticket collector, the poor man here refers to the ticket collector. The ticket collector started saying that grandfather had to pay the ticket of the monkey for traveling with a dog. That means the ticket collector did not understand that grandfather was carrying a monkey. He thought that that was not a monkey, that was a dog, and that's why he asked grandfather to pay the ticket for that dog. In vain did grandfather take Toto out of the bag. In vain did he try to prove that a monkey did not qualify as a dog or even as a quadruped. Toto was classified a dog by the ticket collector, and 3 rupees was the sum handed over as his fare. So finally, in vain, the word vain means an unsuccessful attempts, and the quadrupt means an animal which has 4 feet. Okay, animals which have 4 legs. So the grandfather was explaining to the ticket collector that Toto was a monkey and not a dog. Definitely, he tried to make that Toto was not even an animal with 4 feet, but the ticket collector was firm. But the ticket collector was supposed to take the fare of that so-called dog, and that Toto fell in the category of dogs. According to the ticket collector, that Toto, monkey, definitely fell in the category of dogs. So the grandfather had to pay extra 3 rupees for Toto's ticket. Then grandfather, just to get his own back, took from his pocket our pet tortoise and said, "What must I pay for this, since you charge for all animals?" So the grandfather was disappointed after the behavior of the ticket collector, and in order to take revenge from the ticket collector, he took out his pet tortoise from his pocket. So grandfather was not only carrying Toto, monkey, but also he was carrying that tortoise, keeping it inside the pocket of the grandfather. He asked if he was supposed to buy a ticket for it too. So also he asked the ticket collector so that amount should be paid for that tortoise also. The ticket collector looked closely at the tortoise, prodded it with his forefinger, gave grandfather a pleased and triumphant look and said, "No charge, it's not a dog." So when Toto was finally accepted by the grandfather, he was given a comfortable home in the stable, where he had for a companion for the family of donkey, Nana. On Toto's first night in the stable, grandfather paid him a visit to see if he was comfortable. To his surprise, he found Nana, the donkey, without apparent cause, pulling at her halter and trying to keep her head as far as possible from a bundle of hay. The ticket collector looked closely at the tortoise, prodded it with his forefinger, gave grandfather a pleased and triumphant look, and said, "No charge, it's not a dog." So the ticket collector took a close look at the tortoise. He also said and announced that grandfather was not required to buy a ticket for that tortoise, as it was not like a dog. When Toto was finally accepted by grandmother, he was given a comfortable home in the stable, where he had for a companion the family donkey, Nana. On Toto's first night in the stable, grandfather paid him a visit to see if he was comfortable. To his surprise, he found Nana, without apparent cause, pulling at her halter and trying to keep her head as far as possible from a bundle of hay. So, when the writer's grandmother finally came to know of Toto's presence in the house, okay, she allotted him some space in the stable along with the family donkey Nana. So the name of the donkey was Nana. On the first night in the stable, the grandfather visited Toto. He found Nana restless, pulling its rope in order to stay away from the heap of hay.